Alright, here we go with another painting tutorial. This one we're going to look at the Vindicare Assassin from Assassinorum Execution Strike Force. So I painted this guy up first in sort of the standard colors. I guess the only non-standard thing about this guy is the base. I did it in the Steel Legion drab rim there, but look, GW switching up some of their colors and using darker ones. So with a black base coat, starting on some of the highlights here with Dark Reaper. So just trying to paint on nice fine lines, all the muscles, give a bit of accentuation on the different folds or whatever, all the different bulges on the muscles. Working our way around the model, trying to keep it fairly fine. Nothing too fancy here. Depending on what style you like to do. So GW kind of does a reflective kind of a look on them. You could also just do a basic highlight. It all really depends on how skilled you are and how fine lines and what you prefer. Okay, Leadbelcher base coat on bits on the gun here, and the inside a bit there around the scope. Kind of the main receiver of the gun is going to be all silver, with some of the details being a black and greenish color. Balthasar Gold base coat on some of the decorative bits, so the Imperial Eagle on the gun there. There's sort of a skull Inquisition type thing there, right there on the gun. And there's a couple other skulls here and there, of course, because it's GW. Lots of skulls everywhere. The hilt of his blade, and yeah, stuff like that. Okay, Khorne Red base coat on all of the strapping. That's how I did this guy. You could do this a brown color as well, but the red kind of looks nice as a leather. And the tassel there on the sword the knife is going to have that same color. Rhinox Hide for the holster here for that massive pistol, which is like bigger than his head. So yeah, that's getting Rhinox Hide color. Celestra Grey, that's going to be for his mask here. So trying to keep that nice and tidy, although I do up and touch things up later. Because his eyes are being done later, it doesn't really matter if I get in the eye holes for that. And yeah, that's basically it there. So I think this is basically the base colors. I don't know how many times I can say basically there, but Eshin Grey now starting to highlight up some of the other gray black areas. So the gun has some gray on it, and it's going to be a bit more of this dirty gray, whereas the skin suit or sin suit is going to be a blue gray, and then this part here, this Cabalite green, is going to give a kind of a green gray for the gun. It's going to be highlighted the same color as the scope, so they'll kind of mute each other a little bit. Okay, so once I have all the base colors and a couple highlights on, I'm doing some of the washes. Not a lot of washes on this model, so just Agrax Earthshade on the stonework as well as the gold, and some Nuln Oil on the silver bits. As well as the red. The red gets the Nuln Oil as well. I added a bit of sand around the edge of the base to help blend things as well. Okay, so now highlighting up the suit here with some Fenrisian Grey. So just trying to do fine lines, just trying to bring out sort of where the reflections would be, give you kind of the impression of these big rippling muscles on this guy. So just working around all the different areas. I like how GW does it, but it's a particular technique that I don't think I've quite mastered. Where they kind of outline all of the. Take a look at how I did it. Gives a good impression. Maybe I could use a bit more practice on that, but yeah, let me know how it works out for you. Okay, so a lighter gray highlight up on the mask here. I guess I didn't show the eyes. They got a what was it? Blood Angels orange or whatever. The base coat red for the eyes, and they got the black wash as well. Okay, now Dawnstone highlights on all of this gray. So this is the same gray for the gun and the scope highlights here. So they're going to blend in a little bit. The green will get toned down a touch with that gray highlight, and that'll just help bring out the edges on the scope there. So just using the side to get the edge highlights as fine as possible. Okay, a little bit of Doombull Brown highlighting up the main parts of this holster. Sort of keeping towards the middle areas. And then Skrag Brown edge highlighting on that. And there's a pouch on the other side of his belt. And that's about it. Okay, oh, and his sheath for his knife. Runefang Steel for all of the silver and gold. And using the silver for the gold kind of tones it down a touch, makes it a little bit less blingy and maybe a bit more battle worn. So just trying to pick out all of the edges on everything there, just to make it look like it's kind of worn over time with use and all that sort of thing. Okay, using a pink horror to highlight up the red. So that was the Khorne Red with the black wash, and it's just a little bit of pink highlight here. It won't actually look pink if you do it fine enough, so it just kind of brings out the edges and helps make this look a little bit more maybe worn over time, and brings out some of the edges there. Okay, Evil Sunz Scarlet starting to work on the highlights for the eyes, so try to get the sort of lower half of the lenses with this color. Trying to keep it nice and even. Then using Fire Dragon Bright to just get the lowest edge of that. I do go back and touch this up with a little bit of the reds just to help blend it. Sorry, it's off camera there. It's really, really fine line I'm trying to get in there. And then White Scar highlight for the mask, as well as the dots on the top corners of the lenses. So there's a reason it takes a couple tries here is there's not a lot of paint on the brush, and just trying to get a really fine dot. And that's it. I didn't really show any of the details for the ruins, but it's just your basic grays. And glued on that top bit there and painted the base, and we're all done. So yeah, really fun model to paint, and looking forward to doing the rest of the ones from the Assassinorum box. And yeah, be sure to check out my blog and all my other projects on YouTube, and see you next time.